Now, the next thing we will be talking about is for 3-axis machining, how we would be orienting the part and how we will go through the setup process to be able to program these parts using 3-axis machining. Now, to demonstrate this, I will switch over to our CAM product. I'm going to be primarily demoing the RhinoCam solution today. So we'll switch over to RhinoCam and we'll talk about how we can orient the part and prepare it for machining. So as you can all see on the screen here, I have a solid model. It is a casing for a hair dryer. You can see the core part of the mold design that is being modeled. And this could have been either modeled in your CAD system, which could be Rhino. It could have been imported into Rhino in one of the several different CAD formats. So once you have the part imported and loaded, and the first step we want to make sure is we are programming in the correct units. So the first thing I would check is go ahead and take a look at the units. Typically, it is represented in the bottom of your screen in the status bar. It shows inches. So if you'd like to program the part in inches, you wouldn't have to switch or scale the units. If you'd like to program the part in millimeters, you can right click on the units and go to unit settings, and you can change the model units from inches to millimeters, or if you need to switch it from millimeters to inches. So once you have established the model units, the next step is you want to make sure that the part is in the correct intended orientation for machining. So as we take a look at this part, either from the perspective view or looking down from the top view, we would like to make sure the part is oriented correctly to be able to fit the work envelope of your machine tool, plus it's oriented in the correct direction for being able to mill the part. So looking down from the top view, we can see all of the freeform and the sculpted features on the model, and this is the direction we would like to mill. So the z-axis is normal or perpendicular to this planar face that you're looking at here on the model. So that would be the orientation you would like to mill it from. Now, if you need to rotate the part to fit the work envelope of your machine, you could orient it using several different tools that are available to you, either using the CAD tools that are built into the host CAD system. We can select the geometry and use the rotation command using the gumball. We can rotate it. I can rotate it by 90 degrees. If the part needs to be oriented, so the length of the part needs to be oriented along the y-axis, or if you need to rotate it, if the part needs to be flipped over, we can also handle that. Now, what I'm going to do here is bring in another example. We'll talk about how to orient the part. And I'm going to switch over to another example in here to talk about orienting the part. So consider that you were provided a part from one of your customers, or it was designed in a different CAD program. And as you can tell here, the part needs to be reoriented because the part is not oriented in the intended direction for milling. As you take a look at it looking down from the top view, or take a look at it from the perspective view, you will notice that the part is not in the desired orientation. So which means we need to rotate the part. This could have been modeled in SolidWorks or any other parametric system where the top plane is not XY, the top plane is typically X and Z, or could be modeled in the Y and Z plane. So we need to rotate the part. So there's a couple of ways how you can orient it. You can use the CAD tools available in the CAD system to rotate it by using the gumball, or you can use the rotate command, and you can rotate it by 90 degrees to orient it. That's one of the ways to do it. The other option you could use is basically in the machining browser. You can go over to the program tab and go under setup and select orient part. So once you choose orient part, you have different ways to orient the part. In this particular example, I would like to orient it so that what you see currently along the y-axis needs to be normal to the z-axis. So you can actually select this arrow that points to the direction you would like to orient it, and then selecting OK will automatically orient the part. So if you now go back and take a look at it from your top view, you'll see that the part is oriented in the intended direction. And in the next step, we can move the part to the origin, you can select the entire part. You could use transform move, and you can pick one of the corners of the part and move it to origin by typing 0. So if the part is not in the intended orientation for machining, we would first use the transformation tools either in the CAD system, which could be Rhino or it could be Visual CAD, to orient the part. And then you can also move it to the origin using either the tools that are available in the CAM, or you could use the tools that are available in the host CAD system. Now let me go back and switch back to the part that we were working on here.